Hey guys, this is Christian Knight and Grogu here, and today I'm going to be reviewing The Mandalorian and Grogu. But before I get into this, please like, subscribe, and tell me what you think of this movie review. Before I do anything, this last review I did had no audio. I want to test it out real quick, see how it's doing. You're gonna hear a little bit of an echo there because I couldn't mute my tab. Yeah, I'm here with Grogu, and we're gonna review his movie. I just want to make sure. Hey guys, this is Christian Knight and Grogu here, and today I'm going to review Mandalorian and Grogu, but before I get into this, please like, subscribe. So what do you think of this movie? Great, okay. It's good. So yeah, it's Christian and Grogu here, and today I'm going to be reviewing The Mandalorian and Grogu. But before I get into this, please like, subscribe, tell me what you think of this movie review. So The Mandalorian and Grogu is directed by Jon Favreau and stars Pedro Pascal, Jeremy Allen White, Sigourney Weaver, even Martin Scorsese's in it. It stars Hutts, bounty hunters, and Grogu. So it follows Mandalorian and Grogu on an adventure. They have to rescue Rada the Hutt, played by Jeremy Allen White, in exchange for information on a target. Going into this movie, I wasn't sure what to think. I think the first two seasons of The Mandalorian are phenomenal. Probably some of the best Disney Star Wars content they put out. But season 3 showed a huge downfall in the show, and what seemed like a great ending in season 2, they undid that ending, and a different show, The Book of Boba Fett, they brought Mando and Grogu back together, and now season 3 didn't really have much character growth for Mando or Grogu, aside from the ending where Mando becomes Grogu's father, and the beginning, I guess, had some stuff with Mando, but most of the character arc was with Bo-Katan in season 3, and they also had a lot of cringe with the Jack Black and Lizzo episode. That was terrible. But this movie doesn't really have much cringe, but it doesn't really have a lot to offer either. So I'll go over what I liked about Mando and Grogu, what I didn't like about the Mandalorian and Grogu, and give my final opinion. So this movie, I feel like it was wildly inoffensive. Some people are gonna like that it wasn't terrible. Some people are gonna hate that it wasn't great enough. But there are some things that are good in it. The action sequences are really entertaining, especially the opening scene. That was great. Mandalorian has some badass moments. Din Djarin. Grogu has some cute moments. That was all great. I know it wasn't Pedro Pascal in the suit while they were filming those action scenes, but still. The visuals were hit and miss. Some of them looked good. There were a few shots I liked. One with a puddle that I thought was cool. And there were some cool looking creatures in it. Some were CGI, some were puppets like this guy. And there were even some that were stop motion, which was very cool to see. I thought most of the creatures looked good, minus the Hutts, which we'll get into that. For the characters, Jeremy Allen White's Rada was not what I was expecting him to be. I don't think he was actually a great character, but I was expecting him to be this villain who was seeking revenge for Jabba the Hutt's death, but in reality, he was not really a villain at all. He was just a gladiator fighter, I guess, a buff Hutt who spoke like a normal human instead of like a Hutt, which is what he is, but not what I was expecting, but that's probably the only thing that happened in the movie that I wasn't expecting. But yeah, that's pretty much. Is that pretty much all I have to say about positives? I think it is. Negatives. Again, I thought the color grading was kind of bad throughout the movie. There was a lot of gray, a lot of dark scenes. a lot of the scenes have this weird filter over it that made the scenes look bad, and some of the CGI looked very fake. The Hutts looked terrible. Rada looked very out of place. I think they have the Hutts speak their normal language for a little bit, and then they just speak like normal humans, which is weird. And then they also had some CGI like the AT-ATs; those look fake. So some of it looked good, and then some of it not really. It looked like a streaming show or a streaming special, not really a movie, like the visuals you would expect for a movie. Oh wait, no. For positives, I forgot to mention the score from Ludwig Göransson, amazing. He's obviously done a lot of great work with The Mandalorian, Oppenheimer, Black Panther, both Black Panthers, Sinners. I can't even believe I forgot to mention that. Probably the best part about the movie was the score from Ludwig Göransson. But yeah, negatives. There was some horrible color grading, bad CGI. Visuals are very hit and miss. The story doesn't have what a story should have. It feels like a extended TV special or an episode or like a few episodes stitched together. Isn't really any substance or connective tissue, and there aren't any stakes, no character arcs. Mando and Grogu are the same at the beginning of the movie as they are in the end. The story takes no risks. It's very predictable, and the pacing is terrible. There's like, you'll think the movie's ending, and then there's an hour left. There's a whole stretch where it's just Grogu taking care of Mando after he was poisoned. So there's that. None of the characters were that interesting. Sigourney Weaver's there, but she doesn't do much. Zeb from Star Wars Rebels is there, but he doesn't do much. And I thought Pedro Pascal's performance as Din Djarin was just very like tired. He sounded tired. Like so many of his lines sound like he was just exhausted or something. And again, Jeremy Allen White was out of place as Rada. Martin Scorsese was cool. It was cool seeing him as a cameo. It's interesting that he actually did that cameo, considering he doesn't really seem to think blockbuster cinema is like what cinema. He doesn't really, because of his comments about Marvel, is why I was a little bit taken aback that he was in this. But he's there, and he's cool, I guess. I feel like everything after The Mandalorian Season 2 has just been an unnecessary add-on, like DLC, and this feels a part of that. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say, I guess. If this was like supposed to be the end of Mando and Grogu's story, it wasn't really that satisfying. So yeah, overall, The Mandalorian and Grogu was just mediocre at the end of the day. It's nothing amazing, but it's nothing horrible either. It's not on the same level of Rise of Skywalker. There aren't really any cringe moments in there. Rada's a little cringe, but aside from that, there aren't any like there aren't any lines where it's like somehow Palpatine returned. They fly now. I'm the spy. I'm all the Jedi. Rey Skywalker. I don't like sand. It's coarse, rough, and irritating. And it gets everywhere. I'm a person and my name is Anakin. And then, yeah, I could go on and on. There aren't really any moments like that in the movie, but all in all, it's just, it's alright. The score is amazing. Grogu's cute. There's cool action. Some good visuals. But then there's also some bad visuals. No story, no character arc, no stakes, and not really any memorable characters or performances. So yeah, I'm gonna give The Mandalorian and Grogu a 5 out of 10. Don't have to talk about Oscar buzz. Well, I guess a little bit. There's only really one category that's contending in visual effects. It's not contending anywhere else. Visual effects, they do like to nominate Star Wars. They haven't nominated. The only Star Wars movie they didn't nominate was Revenge of the Sith, but they nominated every single Disney Star Wars movie, including Solo, which was a box office bomb. Is this going to be the exception? There hasn't been a Star Wars movie in 7 years. So are they going to be like, no, we don't have to nominate Star Wars anymore? It just depends, I guess. I could see them nominating it. I can see them skipping over it. But yeah, for this being the first Star Wars movie in 7 years, you'd want it to feel like an event, and this isn't really an event. It's a Disney Plus special that's supposed to be on streaming, but just so happened to be released in theaters. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this review. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.